this is the second video in our Python Algo Trading course for beginners. And like I said in the previous video, this is for people who know how to trade but don't know how to code. So if you have any experience coding, you should probably go to another tutorial, because a lot of things will be very basic. This is for people who know how to trade, and they know what a market order is, and they know what a limit order is. Like, we're not going to explain what a trailing stop loss is, blah, blah, blah. This is for people who want to enact their trading strategies into code, or translate it into code. So another thing is that you shouldn't be daunted by programming at all in this sphere. It's very easy compared to creating apps and things. You don't have to be a master programmer to do this kind of thing. All we're doing is we're telling a backend API. We're telling the broker via code what we want to do, which is very simple. It'll be in the beginning. It'll be a little bit overwhelming because you won't know, how the code works, but soon you'll find out how the code works. And Python is very, very high level, very, very human readable, understandable language. So you don't have to worry about it at all. One thing I really want to stress is self-reliance too. You're probably going to end up with your own error messages while you're following along with this course. And part of coding is learning how to respond to these error messages and to think on your feet, and sort of self-reliance. You can't just follow, like maybe you come from a finance background, you can't just follow the steps for doing something. You have to think on your feet, and you have to really be self-reliant and fight with errors. You have to fight through errors a lot. So you probably will get your own errors coming up here. But if you do, you can always ask in our Discord, and someone will help you out there if you get really stuck. But you should probably try and work through it as much as you can by yourself. That's part of learning how to learning how to code. And it'll seem like you're not getting anywhere, but really what you're doing is you're teaching yourself to recognize errors, and the more you know the errors, next time you see the error, you'll be like, oh, I remember that error, I know what to do, so you really aren't, it's going to feel like you're getting nowhere if you get stuck with a lot of errors, but really you are progressing. You're progressing your own skills with dealing with errors. And errors will always be there because you don't know what their API, for instance, wants. You're going along your merry way, telling the thing, okay, do this and this, buy, okay, fill or kill, blah, blah, and then you format something wrong, and error will come back and say, I'm the API, I don't know how to deal with this one thing that you formatted wrong, and it's just a case of formatting, and now you learn. Anyway, so that's another thing. Another thing is, read the docs. All this stuff is very, very easy. Like I explained in the previous video, you are using this wrapper, which is a sort of wrapper around the actual Alpaca API, which is also very easy to use, but this is even more easy to use, and these docs are very small. What I mean is they're very easy, they're very simple, but to you starting coding, you probably don't feel that way. But what I'm saying is that if you were to actually read it and understand it with your coding knowledge, you'll probably go, oh, okay, that's not so bad. But, you just have to get used to the way things are laid out, and the way, requests work, and the way code executes, and all these things. Anyway, great. So first things first, the previous videos set us up. Using, following these steps. And what we did was we just instantiated this trading client object. You put it into here, you read code from the right to the left. All this stuff, this trading object thing, was put inside this trading client object here, and then we could access functions on it, like get account, like get our account information, and put it into this variable, which we could print out and access stuff on it. So now we're printing the status. So on our account, we want what? Dot status. This is like this. If like a folder system, Great. So that's what we did last time. One difference from last time is that I'm going to use a bash terminal. So you would have opened up VS Code, and you would have gone up here and you gone new terminal, and it would bring up a ZSH terminal, which is this, and that's what defaults it in Mac. So the way to open a bash terminal, you just go this little drop down menu here, and you just go bash. Yeah. So just do that so you can follow along properly with me. Great. So we had opened up an Alpaca trading account here. You can reset it here. I've just got dark mode on. I use an extension for that I really recommend. You can reset your account here, and you can choose exactly how much money you want in it. And down here on the home tab, your positions and your orders will show up, and that's what we'll be trying to work out. And well, just also remember this: API keys. Regenerate your API keys if you get stuck. I've noticed that API keys expire or something. I don't know how it exactly works, or I messed it up. But just make sure that you have these ones. So if you can see, FGG, and yes, I've got the right one up here, and the secret. So yeah, don't get stuck. If it says something about forbidden, if you try and run a script, each of these are files of scripts. If you run one of these files and it says forbidden or something like that, then tend to when you've got the API key wrong or something like that. So just regenerate them and put them back in here. Great. So with all that admin out the way, let's get to explaining this code. So if you've done a sort of introductory Python course, you'll know that if you comment stuff out like this, by placing a hash in the front, it means that the computer won't try and execute it. If it were to run this now, it would just import this from here, and that's that. It wouldn't do anything, because it's commented out. Comments are also used for for telling other developers or yourself down the line what you did. Yeah, there we go, exactly. Instantiating the trading client. So now the computer won't run this, it'll just run this, obviously. And another thing, while we're talking about very basic things, this is the same as this. This is all equivalent. It's all valid Python. You can write things like this, but I prefer, that looks a bit janky, it's not very human readable. You can write the same thing like this. You can just put the bracket like that, and you see that the closing bracket of the function goes there. You see, opens there, close there, and this makes it very easy to comment out things on one line. Otherwise, you're commenting it out the whole line. Anyway, pedantry. Okay, let's go. Let's continue. So we are importing trading client from this Alpaca PY package that we installed in the first video. We are, like in the first video, instantiating this trading client, and we're putting it into this object here. And now we are, nothing's changed since before. We're getting, oh wait, I'm explaining the wrong file here. So this is exactly the same. There we go. So, but it's just not now we have imported a whole bunch of different things as well. We import that initial one, but we're importing these sort of helper functions here and these enums to help us in making a market order. So we did the same as last time. There we go. And then over here, what we're doing is we're doing the same kind of thing here. We're sort of instantiating this market order request object here and putting it into this variable here. And now basically what it is like, if you were to tell me, buy me a stock, and I would say, what stock? How many do you want? Buy or sell, good till cancelled, or fill and kill, I would want to know from you all the specifics, all the specifications, all the so basically we are giving all these specifications. We're creating this object using this class here, and this is what we're going to feed to the actual submit order function. So on our trading client, which we've instantiated before, we can call this function called submit order, and give it order data, this stuff. So we're giving this object, which is the parameters, which is an object containing the parameters by which you want to tell the trading client to buy. So we're telling it to buy the NASDAQ, buy one share, order side buy, or you can go sell. Really not very easy. Order side is what we imported up here. It's just an enum, like yes or no or something like that. And then another enum here, FOK. So we can actually execute the trade over here. So on the trading client up here that we instantiated, we're calling this function submit order, and we're giving it these parameters, these arguments, sort of the same term. And then at the end here, we are on the trading client again. We are which is the thing that's connected to the API. We're calling this function get all positions, and then with the output of this, we're storing into here, which is a variable containing all our positions, and then we're just printing out the heading and then all positions, all positions. Great. So with our terminal inside the Alpaca Trading API folder, is very important. So you can go pwd to see where your terminal is. But if you just opened up one on VS Code by going new terminal, it'll open up in the right folder for you. But you can always check by going pwd enter, and it'll tell you exactly where you are. So make sure that you're in this directory. Otherwise, when you execute this script, the terminal won't be able to find it. Cool. So how you execute a script in Python is you call Python and you go space, and then you start typing the script. So I'm going to say 2 because that's the first character in the script, and then you can go tab, and it'll auto complete it for you. Great. So if we go enter, so it's saying that all positions are. So it's saying it's giving back an array containing no positions. So that's not exactly what should have happened. It should have given an array with a position because we've submitted the order. Okay, so it's filled, and here it is. So it did work. And now this is probably important as well for you to understand. What's happened here is that it's got all the positions before it was actually filled. So what's happened is that, and this will probably mess you around if you don't understand what's going on. So what's happening is that we're creating the order here, right? But the order will stay in the market for like 2 seconds or something before it's filled. But the script, the code, is executing this code before it's actually filled. So, we can say get all, so it just goes quickly, 1 second, and then it gets all the positions before the submitters, before the buy order is actually submitted, and before it's filled, and before the actual position is there. So that's what's been happening. So now, what we can do is let's import sleep, which is a function built into Python. I think the time modules built into the Python language. So now what we can do now is submit the order, and then we can call this sleep function for 10 seconds. Well, let's say 5. So now let's buy some other stock. Apple. So we're buying 1 share of Apple, and let's say, for instance, like a day. So if it doesn't fill by the end of the day, it'll kill the order. Now, so what we're doing is we are buying another share of Apple, but the thing is we're waiting for 5 seconds before we print this out. So I assume that what's going to happen now is that it's going to submit the order. The order will get filled here around about second 2 or whatever, and then by the time it gets to, it'll wait 5 seconds, and it'll execute this, and then we'll see all our positions. So let's go, let's see. Okay, so we've got Apple asset not found. Oh, you see? See now, this is important. You see, because look, it's giving the message. It's giving this API error code, blah, blah, blah. You can look up the code if you like, but it's giving the message asset, blah, 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 is not found. And in your head, you must go, what? They can't find Apple. That's a bit weird. But actually, this isn't a capital letter. So the API is not accepting it because a ticker symbol should have a capital letter, you know? So yeah, now that it has a capital letter, it should work. So this is how you use an error message to solve for your own human error stuff, you know? Oh, and by the way, if you go up, if you click the up button, then it'll bring back the last command that you executed, and you can go enter. So we're waiting 5 seconds. This is why it's taking a long time. Right. Okay. So that worked. So what happened was we made this. We instantiated this. We created this this order data object that contains the specifications for what we want to actually tell the API to buy, with this helper function that came from our alpaca py helper wrapper thing. Then what we did is on the trading client, we submitted the order using this market data, using this, the order data equals this, which is over there. And if you double click on it, it'll show you exactly where it comes from. And then we waited for 5, or then presumably what happened then is the order was submitted and it was filled like 2 seconds later. And then we've been waiting during this time so that when we printed out all positions, we could actually see, okay, it's one of our positions now. And quantity 1, yeah, this is it. Long. So anything interesting here? Not really. Okay, so now we can go back, and here we can see that, yes, there it is. There was the order. It was submitted and filled, and then it got put up to here. And classic, you know, classic. As soon as you put a position on, it goes negative and never turns around. Only kidding. Great. So next video, I think we'll talk about limit orders and placing stops and things. But you know, because I spent a little bit long talking about this, because I wanted to get through all the actual code and stuff and how things actually work. So if you understood all this, then these other ones will be much easier, because you guys know what limit orders are and you know what take profits are and all this stuff. So I'll see you in the next videos for these two.